Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Color X Malice along Kageyuki Shiraishi's route. We haven't seen him in a while. We actually went through a couple days ticking off the calendar that we didn't have any chance at all to investigate the X-Day incidents. It's like, come on Ichika, you're gonna die if you don't solve it. You gotta make time. Alright, so let's try to wedge in some time here and see what else is happening. You can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story.
Eesh. With all these deadly incidents happening one after another, the people are starting to get really ticked off at the police.
Tell me about it. Mochida had been dealing with the same crush of calls I had. He looked weary. Poor guy. Oh, I know. I think I still have some of that chocolate I bought earlier. Nothing like sugar to pick you up when you're feeling down. I opened my desk drawer. But the first thing I saw wasn't my chocolate bar. It was the box of pastry Shiraishi had given me. Well, most of that should be stale by now.
Meet you halfway? Me? With you personally? Huh. You say the funniest things sometimes. Material goods are the fastest way to resolve disputes. I did some research. That pastry set is supposed to be popular with women.
Ugh, I really didn't want to remember that. Mochida, here. You can have these if you want.
Huh? Or there's the pastries that Shiraishi gave you? Come to think of it, I haven't seen him around for a few days now.
He's probably busy doing profiling for all the incidents that have been happening.
True, he is supposed to be damn good at his job, though I've heard rumors he isn't well liked. Last time he came by here, he didn't seem like all that bad a guy to me.
Oh, you weren't with him very long. Oh, he's worse. He's completely tactless. He's always deliberately trying to mess with people. He treats everyone as if they're toys.
Whoa, calm down, Hoshino.
Oops. I suddenly realized I was leaning over my desk and shouting. I quickly took a breath and sat down. I'm sorry, I got a little carried away.
A little? It had to be pretty bad for you to get that upset.
I don't know if anyone can deal with that guy. Oh, wait. Maybe it was because they were close in age, but I remembered Yanagi talking to him like a friend. Maybe they'd known each other for a while. I don't really know the story behind them.
Oh, well, I suppose you'll find all different kinds of people working for the police. From where I stand, the fact that he was nice enough to bring a gift means he's not the worst.
Well, if the gift was a calculating move, although we know it was something a little different than what it appeared to be. This wasn't a gift. It was a... I like to use the same words that I had in my head a moment ago. That wasn't a gift. It was a calculated bribe intended to buy a favorable opinion. After spending time together with him, I knew that, for better or worse, he was an upfront person. He said what he did and did what he said. Even his interrogation wasn't necessarily wrong. I just wish he would understand my position. But in the end, none of my words ever seemed to penetrate his skull. Yes, of course. We're very sorry for the inconvenience. Please have a nice day. Finishing up my shift taking complaint calls, I switched places with the incoming shift. I could really use a quiet evening of rest. I collected my things and stepped into the hall. Shiraishi! The second I saw him, I reflexively ducked and hid behind a corner. I thought I said his name out loud. Not that I have any reason to hide from him. I just didn't know how best to deal with him. Thinking I'd hang back and wait for him to leave, I heard two other officers from the same department walking by, gossiping.
Oh hey, is that Shiraishi? The guy who helped get that Adonis cult disbanded 2 years ago? Yeah, I heard that's why he got transferred here to Shinjuku for this case. He's gotta be pretty embarrassed that they haven't stopped this yet. He supposedly goes off and works on his own a lot. People wonder if he's even doing his job. All the while getting dispatched to every corner of the city with every incident. Lucky stiff.
Is that what others think of him? He was a famous eccentric, but this was the first I've heard of what others thought of his work ethic. I doubt Shiraishi cares one way or another about what others think of him. But never mind his attitude, he was certainly not the kind of person to slack off on his job. It didn't feel right for people to blame him for the investigation not getting any results. Yet, I saw the bad parts of him and decided to avoid him completely. That isn't much different. Yes, he had ulterior motives, but he's one of the few people who saw me, an SRCPO officer who hears the voice of the people, as necessary. My job was to sit and listen to what others had to say when no one else would. Was it really right for me to have given up without really trying to understand him first? It probably wasn't. And I had given up. I told myself my words would not reach him no matter how I tried. But I didn't try hard enough. I can't condone any methods that approve of the sacrifice of innocence.
What? Are you a knight in shining armor who will save the world with ideals and platitudes now? Life isn't that pretty or that nice.
If I give up now, I'll be making a liar and a hypocrite of myself. Yeah, they may be platitudes, but they're only meaningless if I don't see them through. But if I went up to him and tried to talk now, I'd just wind up back in the same situation. So it's time to strategize. Talking directly to him gets me nowhere. My only other option is to get info on him from others. I don't like this. This bugged me in Enomoto's route, so I guess we're going to do this in everybody else's route, where we talk to everybody else about the guy we're dating. So it's too much in everybody's route of talking to everybody else about the guy and not actually spending time with the guy himself. But that's just my personal dislike. I mean, I like the game, I just don't like that part. Preferably someone who knew him well and somehow considered him a friend. I guess that would be Yanagi. Yanagi might know about aspects of Shiraishi that I haven't seen yet. Making sure Shiraishi was nowhere around, I dashed to the office as fast as I could. I guess I was done work for the day. Walking in, I quickly noticed that Yanagi was the only one there. Lucky me! Where's everyone else?
Enomoto is out. Sasazaka went home. Did you need them for something?
No, actually, I came today hoping I could ask for your advice on something. I summarized what had happened between Shiraishi and I, and then I nervously asked, And I thought you might be someone who would know Shiraishi better than most. Could I ask you to please give me some insight about him?
You want to hear stories, eh? The only one I can tell you about him is the one about when we met.
That should be plenty, please. I bowed deeply. Yanagi sighed and looked into the distance, like he could see the past in it.
It was back when I was in Section 1. There was a case where Shiraishi and I got partnered up. Back then, his curiosity ruled all. If he wanted to know something, he'd do anything. Obviously, that led to problems. But Shiraishi's profiling was absolutely critical to finding the right suspects. But, even when his analysis led us to the right guy, he always seemed bored when he arrested them. I don't think he felt any sense of accomplishment.
Huh? Why not?
He only seemed to be happy when solving the puzzle of who the suspect was. Once he had that figured out, he didn't care what happened next. He was uninterested in the victims and suspects themselves. I remember plenty of times he ran his mouth off and made a mess of an investigation.
Do you know how or why he became like that?
Nope. He's been exactly like that the whole time I've known him.
Huh. I couldn't think of what to say after that. Then, how did you get to be good friends with him?
Because we got partnered a lot, probably. No one ever wanted to put up with him.
But, unlike with most other people, it seems like you talk to him as an equal.
He and I are a little alike, I guess.
Oh, I've never seen Yanagi smile like that. That almost looks like a kind of mischievous smile. Like, you don't know how bad I can be. What?
Well,
I've never seen him smile like that either.
He seems like a hard-to-understand guy at first. But if you just look at things from a different angle, he's pretty simple to figure out.
That should be helpful. Simple? Shiraishi?
A real klutz, too.
Really? I've never noticed that. A klutz?
Sorry. I got you all mixed up, don't I? Yeah, there are times when he is an obtuse pain. When he gets like that.
Yes?
Don't provoke him. Just let him be.
Expecting to hear some secret trick to figuring him out, I felt a little disappointed. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you might have known a hidden side of him that no one else did.
Hidden side? He doesn't have any of those. Everything he is right there in the open. Yeah, he's a pain to handle at times, but if you get used to it, it isn't all that bad.
Is that really all it is? I tried, but I couldn't imagine myself building any sort of relationship with Shiraishi anymore. Start imagining again.
Whenever someone just can't keep up with him, he knows. He'll be the one to leave them. He doesn't particularly care, really. At least, not usually. But this time's different.
Huh?
Apparently, he wants to be friends with you. He's even flat out asked me what he's supposed to do more than once.
Oh, so even though he hasn't talked to me this whole time, he's been thinking about it. That's good.
Shiraishi never goes out of his way to conform to anyone else. If someone leaves, they leave. He won't pursue them. But it's different with you. It looks like his attempt to be proactive backfired. But this is something new to him. He doesn't understand how to get close to someone, though I highly doubt he thinks what he's done so far is wrong on his part at all.
He's contrary. He gleefully fans the flames of an argument. He does nothing but make people anxious. If I didn't have to be polite, I'd say Shiraishi is one massive pain in the ass. But I wasn't innocent either. I wanted him to understand me, but had I tried to understand him? I don't think I like Shiraishi. Even when it comes to the investigation, he can't give me any advice without making it a trial.
Do you think he'd bother wasting his time giving advice to someone he didn't have expectations of?
Well, maybe not, but...
You can't figure him out. But I'm betting that he also can't figure you out. That's why you're always on different pages.
Can't you be our mediator, Yanagi? I can't help but think he isn't particularly interested in trying to understand me.
Don't get caught up in the emotional side. Look at the facts. He reached out to you, that's a fact. For him, that's a lot. He's trying to be considerate.
This comes from someone that's actually been around him and seen the things he's done. These things aren't so easy to see clearly. Yeah, not to someone who hasn't known him long. That's why you gotta listen to Yanagi.
Yeah, and that part you just have to get used to. If you let it bug you every time, you'll go nuts.
I don't even know if that's possible.
You came to me asking for advice on Shiraishi, because you wanted to get to know him better. Doesn't that answer your question?
His words flicked on a light bulb in my head. I can tell already that he's going to tease me and mess with me, and find all kinds of ways to entertain himself at my expense. Yeah, that's something I gotta learn to live with. But I'll try.
He has no problem saying whatever he feels like to you. So how about you return the favor?
And he won't mind it at all either, though. I will, thanks. With a gentle push from Yanagi, I made up my mind to confront Shiraishi once again. Or maybe it will bother him since he actually likes me.
There's no getting bored with this many incidents going on, but all the travel is such a pain. Putting the stacks of reports I'd gotten from HQ on my desk, I settled into my chair. First, head to examine the crime scene. Come back to do research, profile, then return. All this work hardly gives me any time to breathe. Of course, this is exactly the time when someone actually tries to call me. Wondering who it could be, I checked my phone. And blinked in surprise. Yanagi, now this is odd. He hardly ever calls me. Well, do you have a mess you need cleaned up? Or did you just miss the sound of my voice? Neither. It's Hoshino. Oh, did her collar finally go off, poisoning her to death?
Well, it doesn't really sound like he cares either way, saying it that way.
No, she just stopped by the office. Seems you managed to really tick her off this time. Oh, that? Yeah, I did. She said something about investigating on her own now, or whatever. I try to look after her, and she suddenly gets upset and runs away. What was it she didn't like? She has her own thoughts and opinions, Shiraishi. She's not so dumb that she needs your lessons. In fact, she just stopped by the office to talk to me, because she wanted to learn more about you. Huh. She what? Really? The last I saw her, she looked like she didn't want to think about me ever again. Well, there would be no more inconveniences in her life if she just chose to avoid me. Her only desire was the removal of the collar. It seemed like some nebulous sense of justice was compelling her to solve the X-Day cases, but if she needed help, it didn't have to be from me. Yanagi would be a far more suitable partner. Well, perhaps her suspicion of me was the stronger emotional impetus. But if that's the case, I can't see the necessity for her to cooperate with the person she hates so much. She'd actively desire to avoid me. She still had several avenues for investigation that did not involve interacting with me. Why is she so fixated on me? It was weird. So, what are you going to do? Are you going to leave things the way they are? No. I was used to being hated and avoided. Even if they actively attempted to get closer, if I was uninterested, it was goodbye. Unfortunately, this one time there were reasons I couldn't just ignore her.
Stop trying to manipulate my feelings. I'm no doll. I'm not a toy for you to play with. You may think of me as a doll, but to me, you are the doll, one without a heart or soul.
I didn't really care what people said to me, but that felt like one barb that hit its mark.
That's really unusual.
Given recent events, the SRCPO has to be drowning in complaints right now. She could just let it all go in one ear and out the other, but I bet she actually listens to them.
Yep, she's a conscientious worker, all right.
If I give her something she likes, will that make her happy? Ugh, this is such a pain.
No, you already tried that. She's already hip to the trick.
This would be so much easier if she was one of those girls who was happy with anything expensive. But that sort of girl would be so predictable. I would have been bored of her long ago. Emotions are amorphous, insubstantial. Trying to comprehend such illusion makes no logical sense. I had never needed to do anything like that in my job before. It was difficult to grasp. If I could just ignore her, I would. But, given the position I was in, I couldn't. Position. I grimaced at my own choice of words. Good thing she didn't hear that. I can already hear her saying, "Wow, Shiraishi, I never knew you cared about your position." Yeah, I do care, believe it or not. In fact, to me, it's more important than anything. To fulfill my duty, it is absolutely required that I become friendly with her. Attempting the same method of advance will just make her run again, though. So what do I do?
Try something new.
Even after Yanagi ended our call, I kept thinking about what the next correct move could be. In the end, I decided...
Don't drop us off mid-sentence. December 17th, 8:25 a.m. If I was going to confront him, sooner was better. When lunch break finally rolled around, I would muster my courage and go to the crime lab. At least, that had been the plan. But when I arrived at work that morning, Shiraishi was waiting for me at my desk. And for some reason, he was looking at me like he wasn't sure what to do. Because he's not sure what to do. Should I say something first? Thinking back on how we last parted, I couldn't force myself to say a simple greeting. While I was trying to figure out what to do, he stuck his hand out. In it was a bag.
You've probably been really busy lately. I think you'd like these, so here.
Huh? Before I could even look to see what was in the bag, he had turned around and left. Uneasy, I carefully peeked inside of the bag. In it, I saw a familiar package. Wow, these are the animal crackers I loved as a kid. I remembered how I used to save up my allowance so that when we went to the grocery store, I could buy a box of these cute animal crackers. Well, he was right about me liking these. I wonder what brought this about, though. Is he trying to buy my attention with presents again? No. One box of these is only 150 yen. Wait a minute. Is it me? Or did he actually say, "You've probably been busy," when he dropped these off? I doubted self-centered and uncaring Shiraishi would bother trying to make me feel better. At first, he had only viewed me as a necessary means to acquiring new witness testimony, but Even when it came to observing my collar, he seemed to give up if I just said no long enough. Yet, not very persistent, is he?
He doesn't understand how to get close to someone, though I highly doubt he thinks what he's done so far is wrong on his part at all.
Is he maybe trying to change? Have my words gotten through to him? The bag was one from a local grocery store. Just the thought of Shiraishi going to the snack section and picking something out for me made the tiniest bubble of joy well up inside me. I wasn't able to thank him in time. Well, he walked away before he could even look in. You can thank him later. Oh, I'm actually going now? Oh no, lunchtime, okay. When noon hit, I dashed to the grocery store and bought some macaroons, then went to the crime lab. I'm giving him a more expensive gift for the cheap gift he gave me. How do I know he likes macaroons? Yes. My, if it isn't Hoshino. I was afraid that you would never come visit us again. Mukai came up to me with a warm smile and clasped both my hands in hers. When you sent me that text saying you refused to see a director again, I wondered what happened. But I wasn't sure if it would be polite to ask. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you worry. No, don't worry about it. My disdain for the director got the better of me, and I forced too cruel and too difficult a mission on you. You had just joined the Bashing Coalition, too. It's sad to see you leave so soon. Who said I was leaving? Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just, a lot happened. I mean, it could be a love-hate relationship, so I might want to bash him even if I love him. So far, only 1 or 2 of my co-workers from here have gone out drinking with me. If you don't mind, I'd like it if we could go again sometime. Of course I don't mind. I would love to join you. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm afraid my excitement got the better of me. She let go of my hands and stepped back, turning to look behind her. Unfortunately, the director is in right now. Unfortunately, he's in. If he was terrible to you, I will gladly join you in getting your rightful revenge on him. No, I'm not here for revenge today. Oh, then why? What other reason could there possibly be to visit him? I think I'm going to try and have a serious talk with him. May I come in? Of course. If that is your intention, I'll step out for a moment. Please come in. Don't think badly of me for this, Mukai. At Mukai's urging, I took 1 step, then another into the room. I looked around, finally spotted him poring over some research materials at a desk. It didn't look like he had noticed me come in. Good afternoon. Huh? What are you doing here? And when did you come in? I just got here. Oh, sheesh. Don't do that. It's bad for my heart. Do you have a minute? Shiraishi put the reports down beside him and turned to face me. Since you came all the way here just to complain to me again, I assume this attempt was a failure. A failure? Why else would you come to see me if it wasn't to berate me again? To thank you, of course. I came here to thank you for the gift before. I didn't come here to berate you. I came here to say thank you. So, thanks for the animal crackers. They cheered me up a bit. Shiraishi? To be honest, I wasn't sure about that selection, taking what I knew of you into account. I theorized that it wasn't necessarily expensive things you would like, but rather cute things. I recalled your lunch being childish. I mean cute, and that informed my decision. Childish, I mean cute. Those crackers seem to fit that image the best. So that's why he looked so stiff this morning. He was actually worried about me not liking it. This was different. Much different from the time he did it just to amuse himself with my reaction. Happy at his thoughtfulness, I shyly offered up the box of macaroons. You've bought me a couple gifts. I thought it was time that I got one for you. Why? Huh? I gave you gifts because I felt like it. How does that make you compelled to gift me in return? Your gift made me happy, and that made me want to get you something too. I sometimes buy these as a treat for myself. I figured as a guy, you don't take the chance to buy things like this for yourself. Plus, I figured you could use the sugar to help you with the taxing mental work you have to do. These macaroons are really good. I recommend them. I can never find macaroons around here. I want macaroons. Shiraishi sat there, staring at the box of macaroons, not saying a word. He stayed silent so long, I started to feel a little anxious. Oops, let me guess. You don't like sweets?
Sweets are fine, I'm just a little surprised. I didn't expect to get anything back. But, I think I sort of see what you meant before. Rather than something that simply follows form, getting a gift when someone put thought into your preference does seem more pleasant.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
But trying to pick out just the right thing is a pain. I don't think I want to do it often.
Yeah, it can be time-consuming. That sounded like a negative comment at first, but looking at it from another angle, it meant he had spent a lot of time picking the animal crackers. Geez, he doesn't make things easy, does he? It's just all in how you view things. You just have to learn to adopt a different kind of point of view when you're dealing with certain people. I think it's easy, really. That's why sometimes it bothers me the way that people rip into certain characters for their personalities, and I'm like, I kind of have a weird personality myself in real life, so I appreciate the people that take the time to understand and deal with me. Maybe that's why the thought that I finally got through to him was so elating. From now on, I'll try and dissect and think about the things that you say and do.
How do you mean?
Up until now, I've taken you at face value, but I think if I change my perspective, I might start to see a different picture. I'm going to try to be like Yanagi and just take what you do in stride.
Like Yanagi? Do you really mean that?
Of course I do. What point would there be to lying about that?
True. You are physically incapable of lying well. I just didn't expect this from you.
I won't run away from you. I prepared myself in body and mind. Shiraishi gaped at me for a second before he burst out laughing.
What the hell is that? Jeez. Why do you have to be so interesting all the time?
Looking at interesting as your way of giving a compliment, it feels like you've been saying nice things about me a lot.
You know, one of the nice things about you is that you never try to blow things off with white lies. Everyone complains about me at first, but after a while they all back down. My record as a profiler is good enough, they just give up.
As long as it gets the job done.
Even Mukai, a vocal and persistent shrew that she is, never says anything about the way I do things. Yanagi has a better idea of who I am the most, but even he mostly just observes me from a distance. You're the first person I know who's ever volunteered to try and get to know me.
Shiraishi looked at me for a moment, and then smiled.
It looks like I've underestimated you, but I think I have to reassess you now, Ichika.
Huh? For a second I wasn't sure what I'd heard. He remembered my name! Progress! You remember my name?
And if I didn't, you would get upset again, right? I did it to avoid later annoyance.
Oh. Sheesh. I guess I can accept that, though. The important part was that Shiraishi decided on his own to memorize my name. Everything else was just minor details.
Anyway, so how's the questioning been going?
Oh, sorry. I've been so busy these last few days I haven't had the time. I'm afraid there hasn't been any progress. Mochida and I did try to go and visit with Miss Takeuchi again once, but she wouldn't even talk to us. Things have finally started calming down in the SRCPO though, so I was thinking of trying to go and speak to her again this afternoon.
Even after being rejected twice, you won't give up. And that's just who you are.
Huh? He suddenly reached out his hand and patted me on the head. I love head pats. Hey! What did you do that for?
What's wrong? It's not like it's hurting you. Besides, you're kitty-esque.
I'm not a cat.
I think you're pretty close, actually. Strays really like being petted.
Let me be very clear here. This is what adults do to kids. I do not like it. Please, don't do it again. Oh, but I like having my head pat.
From where I'm standing, you are a child. I kid, I'm sorry.
His mouth may have been apologizing, but his hand didn't stop stroking my hair. There, stroking, is that better? Okay. He's right when he says this doesn't hurt. but it's kind of demeaning. Well, maybe patting, but if he's stroking your hair, that's better, right? Still, he looked like he was enjoying himself so much, I didn't have the heart to stop him. And you didn't enjoy it at all? Come on, Ichika. I think I'm going to try questioning some of the other students who were in Tsunomori's class, and the teacher who replaced Miss Takeuchi, too.
Roger. I've been mulling over why Miss Takeuchi would have a fearful response to my questioning, and I came across something pretty interesting.
Really? What?
I expect they'll have to make use of your abilities after all.
Huh? It was an offhand comment, but there was no denying that Shiraishi said he needed me.
So, could you, take back what you said about investigating on your own? I'll try to listen more to what you have to say.
It doesn't take much to be more than not at all. Still, I guess the fact that he was making the effort at all was a step in the right direction. Alright, we can work together again.
Great. And then let's both finish up here and meet again in the evening, okay?
Okay. I felt much lighter on my feet walking back to the SRCPO than I had when I walked over here. Yay, we made up! Oh right, I should probably alert Mukai. I finished talking with Shiraishi. I think I may be visiting the crime lab a lot more often from now on. I hit the send button. What's she gonna think of this? When I looked up from my phone, I saw Saiki walking toward me. Ah, good afternoon, Saiki.
Hi there, Hoshino. What's up? You're looking happier than I've ever seen you.
'Cause I'm in love! Huh? I do?
Yeah, it's obvious even from far away. Good to see you're doing okay, I guess. I was kind of worried you'd be in a bad mood due to all the complaints you've had to listen to. But it looks like you'll be alright for a while, huh?
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sure you've been at least as busy as me. Keep up the good work?
You bet I will. If you ever need a good drink and some time to vent, let me know.
After Saiki walked off, I reached up and let my fingers brush against my cheek. Oh geez, was it showing on my face that much? I need to get a grip. I mean, I've only gotten in to start at square one. Is that from Mukai? Figuring that she had replied to my earlier text, I pulled up my phone and...
Is it? I must confess, my worry got the better of me. I watched everything.
Oh, why are you a better ninja than I am? What?
I still can hardly believe it. The director, remembering a name. At this rate, you might become his greatest weak point yourself. I shall inform Sakuragawa immediately.
Oh boy. I'm his greatest weakness? No, the more pressing point was that we were watched for that whole conversation. Oh god, have I been grinning like an idiot since then? That's so embarrassing. I walked back to the SRCPO office, steadfastly determined to maintain a neutral expression. The more complaint calls we got, the more reports we'd have to fill out and file. I pushed myself and somehow managed to finish them all before hurriedly rushing out the door. Got stuff to do.
Did you make a new land speed record dashing out here? Your bangs are a mess.
Oops. I quickly reached up and tried to smooth them, Shiraishi observing me with a grin the whole time.
Drat. Well, I shouldn't have said anything. They looked much funnier sticking up.
And that's too bad, but my bangs aren't our top priority right now.
Oh, you're just going to brush it off? Oh well. Let's head to the office then.
Yeah, that's the way to get him to stop poking fun, is to, stop reacting. We walked for a while before Shiraishi piped up again with an,
"Oh yeah. I didn't see your one coworker today. Did he have the day off?"
No, he just left early. He said he had to go shopping for a Christmas gift for his wife.
Oh, given the state of current affairs, is celebrating Christmas really that relevant?
I feel like it's especially important now. I let my eyes wander across the city scenery. Thanks to the government's self-serving policy, Shinjuku had been turned into a walled garden. Yet the district itself looked the same as ever, if you ignore the citizens' ambient anger. Christmas is no exception. shipments from outside only come sporadically. That it still looks normal here is all decidedly abnormal. There was only a fraction of the usual bustle of the season, but the city at least looked festive. There's something about looking at the lights that makes a person feel a little better. Christmas is a special time of year.
Is that so? I don't really get what's so special about it.
I can see work getting in the way of being able to relax and enjoy it properly. But back when you were a kid, didn't you love it? You can't tell me that you weren't excited about opening gifts on Christmas morning.
Not really. I never really did all that when I was a kid. I did have guardians who raised me, but they weren't my parents.
What? Oh gosh, I'm sorry,
You don't have to look so sad. It didn't bother me.
But still... I tried to apologize again, but Shiraishi raised a hand, cutting me off.
You know, you are a really decent human being. You must have been raised in a good environment.
I'm not all that great, really. My parents loved my little brother more than me because I couldn't do much, and he was great. I had a complex about it for the longest time. But one day it hit me. Even if I didn't have any special talent, I could still be helpful to others, even if it was only in small ways.
That's why you became a police officer, huh? It's amazing you could think about things that way.
I didn't hear any irony or sarcasm in his voice. That was likely his honest opinion. Why did you decide to become a profiler, Shiraishi? I think that's a good place to stop, because there could be a story behind that, so we'll find out what his story is in the next episode. Yay, I'm so glad we're back together and not spending days apart. Don't avoid me ever again. And Ichika, don't ever avoid him again. Well, I hope to see you in the next episode, or maybe some of my other videos. And I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye-bye, everybody.